All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, where we post daily Rockets content. If that's something you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to talk about KPJ a little bit today, a little short video for you guys, because like a year ago and 1 week, Kevin Porter Jr. dropped 50 and 11 on the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was actually the youngest ever to do that. And so, we look at Kevin this season. For some reason, people view it as a unsuccessful year, and I would have to say it's probably just because in his 26 games he played for Houston when he was initially acquired for a bag of chips, dropped 16.6 per game along with 6.3 assists. Well, this past season, 15.6 per game and 6.2 assists. So technically we are looking at, in those two categories, like, he didn't improve, I guess, technically per se. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that. My number one thing with Kevin this season is, first off, he's 21 years old. I mean, kid's literally 21 years old, and he has played, 61 plus 26, 87 games as a point guard. He has only played 87 games as a point guard in the NBA, which means he would essentially have only played like one season. He has yet to really even play a full season, dealt with a ton of like just little like hamstring tweaks, whatever it was. KPJ ended up missing about 20 games this season. So he hasn't really played like an official full year, but technically speaking, he did play a full year this year. Well, I think Kevin actually improved. I really do think Kevin improved. If we're looking at a guy who is giving you 16 per game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists, I don't really understand. At 21 years old, I don't really understand how in any world that can be bad. Like, I really don't understand how you could not be happy about that. It actually makes no sense. And so kind of the number one thing with Kevin in his first 26 games with Houston in the season of 2020 was he could not really shoot threes at a good clip, and he was turning the ball over sporadically. Reason being, brand new point guard. He is a new point guard playing first couple of games of the season, might I add you. So he was not in a rhythm, and he's also playing a brand new position in the NBA. Well, this past season, we saw a lot of improvement outside of like maybe the points, rebound, and assist category. I saw a lot of improvement just with my eyes, not only defensively, but turn the ball over less. He's currently averaging 3.1 turnovers per game. And for a guy who has the ball in his hands a lot, I'm not complaining about 3 turnovers a game. I really am not complaining. Last season, 3.5. The thing I think with the turnovers, I know it's only a 0.4 differential. The thing is, Kevin hasn't, he's not going to be perfect right now. So he'll go a game where he'll have 0 turnovers, then the next game 1 turnover, then the game after that he'll have 5 or 6. Next game 1 turnover, the next game 2 turnovers, 1 turnover, 0, and then 6. The thing with Kevin was in his first year with Houston, we were seeing like 4 turnovers just every single night. Like it was like every single night Kevin had like almost 4 turnovers. Sometimes he'll have 5, 6, 7, 8. Like he was turning the ball over a lot. So I think we saw a lot of improvement. Yeah, he's not going to be perfect, but he's getting a lot more efficient as far as turning the ball over. And then number 2, we're looking at 3-point percentage. I mean, this is a career 69% free throw shooter. Keep that in mind. He suffered at free throws this season. Shot 72 in his rookie season, 74 last season, 2 seasons ago with Houston, and then in this last season, 64%. We know he can shoot. I wouldn't look too much into that 69% career, but 64 from downtown is a huge, just not ideal. It was the whole Houston Rockets team. We were the worst free throw shooting squad, and it really honestly wasn't really close. I mean, it was every single night. It wasn't just Wood, it wasn't just Porter. It kind of spread like a virus onto the team. No one was really making that many free throws. It was kind of crazy, actually. So that better get fixed. That was something I was very strict on with the Rockets all season, was why are you guys not making free throws? Like, it's easy for me, sit back, I'm watching these games on my couch, but make your free throws. Is it a fundamental error? Like, usually with free throws, it's, mental, fundamental, what was going on? Why was the whole team suffering free throws? But that's enough of a free throw rant today. What I want to talk about is three-point percentage, because that was one thing with Kevin where he was taking over 6 threes a game. So he was, taking 6, making barely 2, 1.9 2 seasons ago, and he was only making them on a 31% clip. All of us were hopeful, us KPJ supporters, even non-KPJ supporters, they're hopeful, thinking like, there's no way Kevin shoots 31% again from downtown, because in his rookie season he shot 33.5% from downtown, which isn't great, but it's a step in the right direction. Like, we know he can shoot. Well, so what does he do? Well, this season he actually lit it up from downtown. He started a little bit slow, but he finished with 37.5%. So, if you want to round up, Kevin shot 38% from downtown this year. I think that is a huge success, and I really don't understand why so many people are anti-Kevin. It doesn't really make much sense to me. I mean, I'm looking at his stats this past season: 16 points, 4.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.1 steals. He shot 38% from downtown, only gave you 3 turnovers a game. From a 21-year-old who has not had much experience at his position, I feel like people should be getting back to thrilled. I think that 50-point game against Milwaukee, setting NBA history, I think that kind of got people, maybe getting their expectations a little too high. I think that's honestly kind of what this boils down to, is for some reason Kevin's expectations are like through the roof. Like, people are expecting him to be significantly better than Jalen Green, when in actuality he's only had 2 more seasons than him. He's still 21 years old. They're still only 2 years apart. So you guys know, if you've been watching this channel, I'm huge on Kevin, and I'm definitely root for him, and I hope we stick with him for however long it makes sense. I don't think he should be a 6th man at all. Houston's not in a rush to win, so you go out. Hopefully you get a top 3 pick in the draft. You get a, something of a power forward, center, small forward, something like that. Paolo, Chet, Jabari, whoever you want. The Rockets go out, they draft him. You got Jalen for another season, you got Wood for another season, and you got Kevin for another season. So I think next year really is going to be another evaluation year for the Rockets, where more of an evaluation rather than a rebuild, where you're just thinking like, all right, we're in the right direction. A couple free agents would put us immediately into playoff contention, but we don't want to, break up the youngsters. We don't want to break up the draft picks. Like, they have a lot of draft picks, keep in mind, from that Nets Harden trade. So I'm really hopeful, man, not only for Kevin Porter Jr., but for the future of the Houston Rockets. This next season, I really think, is going to be the only shaky season. I still think they'll be playoff play-in contenders, but, you'll see another season where it's just kind of evaluating. So I don't think anything happens to Silas. I don't think anything really happens to anybody on this basketball team. I think that they, go through the draft, maybe make a couple free agent signings and go from there. So that's it for today, man. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, drop some comments down below. What are your thoughts on Kevin Porter Jr.? Hopefully you're hopeful and optimistic as I am, but if you're not, still go ahead, drop a comment down below.